Go.
Welcome to our podcast. This is Riley Armstrong speaking.
Bryson Ebright.
And Gabe Capelli.
Alright. So I'm going to start off here with our podcast, and I'm going to start off with my name and where I come from. I'm from Massachusetts originally, and in Massachusetts I work with my dad in his company who does new home construction and remodeling, basically, and I've been an apprentice for his company for over 6 years now, doing various forms of work, from finishing work to just your basic framing layouts, pretty much. Yeah.
And now you're here.
Yeah, now I'm here to graduate and come out into the world and, do something better.
Yeah. Well, I'm Gabe Capelli, and some of my experience, I started off junior year in high school doing tech school, and learning the basics there, and it's really got me interested to start working at a small residential company, just doing basically laboring, mainly, a lot of carpentry and whatnot with that company, and of course then came here, hopefully to be able to start something, with myself.
Alright, and I'm Bryson Ebright. I live about an hour south of Williamsport here. I started out first getting into trades. I took a class in high school. It was a woodworking class, just some basic woodworking. And then I ended up going to work for some family and friends who have companies. I've done a bunch of work with concrete and roofing and just remodeling and all of the sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much sums it up for me.
Nice. Well, today we're kind of just going to talk about our two main topics, being COVID-19
Aging the aging workforce.
And
Dive into those topics a little bit. Maybe some of the stuff you've heard before. Hopefully it's not, because hopefully it'll pique your interest to learn more about it. Because some of these are some serious problems that we're going to talk about.
both these topics come together a lot, which we'll talk about, and it's kind of
they're definitely
interesting how,
intertwined.
I think COVID itself is just affecting so many things, so, of course it's going to touch on a little bit of everything, and COVID has just definitely had a huge impact on, not just our construction industry, but,
everyone,
all the
all
industries,
businesses across,
everybody.
the nation, It's definitely impacted.
So we'll start out by introducing the effects of the pandemic that has been brought upon the construction industry. Some of these, include the whole entire lockdown. Everybody's been locked up inside. Businesses have been shut down, can't go to work, so they're trapped inside, and it was just a huge loss for the economy itself. And then supply chain issues came along. Construction had trouble getting lumber imports and just sourcing lumber here locally even, and also labor loss since all the businesses were shut down and whatnot.
Some have to lay people off due to just, COVID itself, and then of course, labor laws also pertains largely to what we'll be talking about later with the aging the workforce, but, COVID definitely affected a lot of things, I think the big one that I think everyone in our industry is talking about is material prices just being crazy.
And inflation doesn't help it too either. We've seen a lot of inflation, the gas prices are going up and whatnot.
Yeah, it's inflation with everything,
Yeah.
It's hard for some of these jobs to survive.
I think some of obviously the big reason why this material is so high is because the big interruption on supply chain came into with, COVID, of course, and
the other countries had they started to sell their lumber into the U.S. for cheaper prices.
yeah, they saw, as we got into the issue with our demand, initially kind of being pretty low, I think, in, the first lockdown and everything of the pandemic, and COVID just kind of caused everything to shut down. People just weren't doing anything at all. And so, that kind of caused demand to drop a bit. And then out of nowhere, kind of,
Everyone started to sit down in their house for a while, and they look around and they see stuff that they could fix, or
remodel,
or they think they could do it themselves and stuff like that. They want to build something themselves. So
maybe someone finally wants their dream home built. They got not much. It might be the perfect time. So I think a huge kind of surge of demand for materials came back up, and
the suppliers they weren't ready for that. They weren't expecting that at all from the big shortage.
They already don't have workers because initially, again, they lay a lot of people off. They already don't have workers in the mills and factories and all this, and
the projects got delayed, and it really just messed everything up. The construction industry and beyond that even.
And that, like you said, prices, kind of shot up as demand goes up, and we don't have quite the resources for it. But other countries, as Brother was saying, did have the resources. Canada especially, with they were able to sell their lumber prices, a little lower than the U.S. was. It kind of undercutting them, but the government reacted and was like,
started raising tariffs on lumber
on Canadian lumber. Try to incentivize, U.S. sourcing, buying from the U.S. instead of Canada, but just kind of ended up
being a nasty disaster.
Now all lumber is expensive, until they plan hopefully soon we can, in America be able to keep up with or catch up to demand.
Alright. So let's, you guys want to jump into the first topic about the supply chain? Which, I mean, we essentially were just elaborating on that.
We'll snip this out.
Okay.
But,
I thought we were still with the introduction.
No, we were getting into supply chain. But, where do we leave off? Kind of, so we don't really have the...
I mean, the raising prices, that's where we left off. Just like raising prices in the country got so bad that initially it led to project delays, right?
Well, and then even getting the supplies in general was, some people were happy to, I guess, some people have the money to pay these high material prices, but they still even couldn't get it in to the ports because they're just so backed up. And the ports bringing on the shipments themselves was backed up, and just getting things on our ports was backed up originally. So that is kind of what big started project delayed.
Even if they went out and bought the materials for this high price, and someone wanted to build something, put an addition on their home and whatnot, when contractors would give them their price, they were just mind blown. They didn't want to do it because such the price surge and whatnot. So there was nothing really each side could do. If you take too much, you don't want to take out your labor or whatever and cut back the price on yourself so you're not making any money.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot, I think some companies definitely took, cost cuts, the higher ups, like the person who came in, that company that came in our class,
Yeah, Warfeld.
same, upper management had to take some pay cuts just to keep,
Yeah, all their employees on, not let anyone go.
Yeah,
keep the business afloat.
Yeah.
But material, coming in is definitely a big part of, projects getting so delayed,
Or
and
even shut down to the point.
Initially, they were of course shut down at first with, just overall lockdowns. And PA was actually the only state in the U.S. to lock down every
public sites.
all construction sites.
Yeah, which definitely affected PA for a lot of companies. PA though had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And first.
Yeah, the delays, they definitely affected everything. And those came with like inspections and permits and all these things that go into projects that keep them moving and need to be planned out months and before time and stuff like that. And
shut down abruptly.
Yeah, and so you're messing up schedules that were planned out years before time for some projects, and so now you're just now you're just going to cut them off with these inspections and permits that are coming to a halt because of the lockdown, and how they have to change up their processes for the permits and inspections was very hard for some contractors.
Yeah, and actually, in some insurance policies, they were seeing that, insurance policies only are usually last for so long, and some, are job to job based, and when, contractors were expecting their jobs to end, at this specific date, and then they, just got shut down out of nowhere, their insurance policies, run out of time, and they either have to, re-up the policy or get, pay again for a new policy, so that was something that was definitely
hit home and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for a lot of
just a
families
shock
and stuff like that. Yeah.
to like how abrupt that, people aren't thinking of this type of thing's gonna happen.
Yeah, that kind of leads into that topic that you found interesting about how with the relationships and stuff like that.
Where like marriage,
Yeah, about marriages.
relationships.
How they're marrying late or.
Just like,
I kind of like just kind of thinking about how like my sister, she got married this year, but got engaged, kind of like in the heat of in the middle of COVID because she got a recent boyfriend, and they just recently moved in together, and they're stuck inside all this time with COVID, and they kind of got closer and probably
resets goals for some of them.
you
moves
just
goals
like
faster along.
moved them along a little faster. They got engaged way earlier than they probably would have got married, and then
So they probably had like
bought a house, bought
a point
a
where
house.
they want to start a family or something.
Yeah, and then of course there's the other side to that where people are stuck inside and not able to meet anybody because they're just by themselves. They're not already in a relationship, and it kind of delays people starting their lives and buying homes and that type of thing.
Yeah, it had some good effects, but it also had some bad effects.
Yeah.
Alright, we like to jump
in. Along with the idea again with people not expecting this. I think a lot of contractors didn't realize they needed certain clauses for conditions that are in their clauses in their contracts for conditions that are kind of outside of their reach, and something that could cover their ass is a little while they're having these crazy delays.
Yeah.
So I think there's some things we can learn from this pandemic is to make sure we kind of have our company a little more in order and prepared for
In case something
for
like
things we don't
COVID
always
comes along
think
again,
about.
natural disasters,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yes,
just to get covered.
Yeah,
I'm sure
we're seeing
once.
more and more hurricanes. Florida
Yeah.
just got wrecked, and
Yeah, 2 hurricanes.
they're taking up a lot of resources right now. So
Mhm.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
They're kind of
So,
things. A
takes
lot
away
of
from-
plywood and wood, especially, needs to be sent over there to.
Yeah.
So that's also.
it's crazy how
how natural disasters are kind
they
of.
have they need billions and billions of dollars of damage down there, and then they're gonna build that back up with the same wood houses and stuff like that. And it's gonna get hit with another natural disaster because they're prone to it down there more than us, I guess. But
They need homes with a stronger base. Like some of the buildings, we've seen that one video of how the only building that was standing was made out of
ICF.
ICFs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually. But yeah. So we're really prepared for that, and of course, not being prepared, we're also not ready for possibly having to lose all these people and money because of something like this, and that of course starts one of the things that caused a lot of labor loss in this industry.
Mhm.
Because people just they're losing so much money. It's not just these people losing their jobs, but the higher ups are losing so much money that you have to let some people go, and so that initial drop of the workforce.
Yeah. So everything's brought back at the pace and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's not much they can do about it. I mean, if they want to keep surviving with their company, it's what they got to do, unfortunately.
yeah, many companies had to adapt to the work-related restrictions due to COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
implement,
Adapt. All the PPE.
distancing
So some people
procedures.
probably refuse and
Yeah, there's a lot of
times and
older people that are like that.
so, they either have to can't continue working there, or they gotta wear these masks
all day.
stuff that just gets in the way.
Yeah, the shortage of the PPE because it was being prioritized to healthcare and all these other services
true,
that
too.
were needed over it. So some companies couldn't get the healthcare they needed to keep their workers safe, so they had to stop working ultimately. And they also had, like you said, the workers who just didn't want to abide by these new rules or these new restrictions and stuff like that. So it definitely made for environments to be uncomfortable and for workplaces to fall apart.
Yeah, they didn't want to do that, and they didn't want to work with other companies. Sometimes a lot of subs, and they don't really want to they don't really want to come together with all. They don't know about who these other companies are, and work in close corners with them.
More people in one area, and then who knows,
Yeah.
OSHA shows up, then you're in trouble, or
Yeah. A few people aren't wearing masks.
and that just it's a big bill.
And another thing that I think labor was affected by was the drop of transportation. I think most of it was probably shut down at first, at least, and
because a lot of people in the inner cities, they heavily rely on the public transportation and such, so it made it hard for them to get to their jobs.
And I think we were saying before, how much of our construction industry is, really kind of mainly immigrant people, and who came here because they don't really have they're starting from starting from not much, so they might be a little lower income, and public transportation was their only
way to get to work and to back home and stuff like that. And they relied on those types of things to.
You guys remember what the statistic was for that?
I just looked up. I found on NewAmericanEconomy.org says that actually 45% of our painters and drywallers are are immigrants here, and then at least 30% are of our carpenters are also of immigration. So that's like a huge amount of our labor force that I think we count on so much that's being affected by things like transportation shutting down.
I think we've all experienced that. We've all worked with immigrants. I mean, I've been to lots of job sites where they have a bunch of them. I mean, unless I'm working on like a smaller crew of 2 to 3 people, then no, probably not. But the majority of the job sites that I've been to, there's always been, those different ethnicities.
There's always. And I think with COVID, especially again, and this intertwines with what we'll get to later, but people were kind of just realizing they could work. They could be getting stimulus checks, right?
From the government,
the government.
Sitting at home.
In this digitization world where they could work from home and be on their computer all day, or or
live
make
anywhere
videos
they
or
want.
something like that,
Yeah.
And
now you can make money just
make a 30-second video.
Social media and stuff.
Yeah, so people probably saw that as a more easier way. It's more sufficient for them. It was working for them at the time. So, and working at a job and doing physical labor is definitely something that someone doesn't want to do during COVID. So they chose that as their primary option for income, and a lot of them took their other jobs and went away from them.
And I think nowadays we can see a lot more of these larger companies where they have people working in offices and stuff, where they have to come in and work in their office. They were sent home for COVID, but now they're just staying at home.
Yeah.
Like my mom, she worked in an office, but then they sent her to work from home since COVID.
Now we have all these empty offices.
Yeah.
And, we're not really doing anything with it.
It's kind of good in a way. I mean, if you're just working in an office because it saves on transportation costs and stuff like that. Emissions.
Yeah. I think it also definitely keeps people in their homes.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot more. And I think COVID. People were already scared to come out of their homes, so you're ordering everything online. You're ordering food. People aren't coming out to the house.
Yeah.
They can work and do everything from home.
Getting the social interaction that we need.
Yeah, we want. That's one. It's kind of a smart growth principle too, is to kind of have more people interacting and
getting that social ability between people. Because
if
you don't have that, then no one's gonna have confidence to do anything. There's gonna be stuff behind a screen doing everything.
Yeah. I think, it's kind of just like a lazier thing that we've started, to do, and
distance ourselves from people more and more.
Yeah.
I think especially since like technology in the younger generations, that's what's really been affected.
Yeah, like the technology, it's meant to bring us closer to people, but it distances us
in
more
reality.
than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and like a lot of unemployment claims have, been made in America because of this kind of idea of,
That
I
I
can
can
just-
easier time. of
yeah,
working
do this.
home.
I can just work in an easier way, get money in an easier way, and that along with layoffs, heavy amount of layoffs that of course happen. I actually found on paganlaw.com here. They talked about how unemployment claims in here in PA have actually skyrocketed to 1.7 million cases in 2020, and almost 80% of those were construction workers filing those unemployment cases. So, we just
It's a
see
huge percentage.
so many, of our industry obviously not,
Working.
able to work or want to.
And it's been causing, a lot of financial problems. People aren't going to work. Companies aren't making profit, and all around the work is just shutting down, and everyone's taking a loss, not just one person.
Yeah, customers are losing confidence in their contractors basically to do these jobs and stuff like that without the supply of materials and stuff like that, and the supply of PPE and stuff like that to protect workers on job sites. It's definitely a hard hit for many job sites.
Yeah, and the government's not able to collect the proper taxes that they could be, when all the businesses and whatnot are up and running. So it affects the global economy as a whole. It just causes one big financial issue for everyone. And,
I mean, and another we cut here. Take a little refocus. How should we jump back in here? What are you talking about? Should we get to technology?
yeah, it was right before technology. So technology.
Maybe we need to
Then-
get the
Yeah.
It's really fine.
And another huge thing
Since COVID
affected
hit.
by
Yeah.
that COVID affected was, of course, technology.
Yeah. And a lot of companies have had to adapt to using technologies that they haven't used before, just for the sake of staying socially distanced and whatnot. They had to do what they had to do. So they created all sorts of different things. I know they have those virtual reality tours out there now where people can tour a home right from their computer screen.
Crazy, modeling and simulation programs that we have now. I think heavily because of COVID, and like you said, we can't get as close to each other anymore. We can still plan with other builders, and like that Warefell.
Yeah, the Warfall company.
Warefall company that came in.
Yeah,
They showed us a cool
cool
program.
simulation kind of thing. It was like a CAD system almost, and they'd like break down every part of it, and they could send it to like the subcontractors and everything like that, so they could base off what they think or what's wrong or something needs to be changed. Yeah, that was definitely a cool system. Yeah, going into that, like people use like different technologies like the drones and stuff like that to like scan the piles of dirt so you could tell you how much it was.
Cool, yeah.
So you don't even have to be on the site for that, so you can just send it over.
Just fly over.
that was
Trying
cool.
to figure out if you have enough stuff before, you know, you even really get there.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to do the job.
And also these programs can allow, you know, people like electricians and plumbers and HVAC guys to go on there and you know, plan out where they're running everything, make sure they're still communicating with each other. Yeah, the other mechanics without having to be there in person and doing it physically. First they can plan it out, you know, make sure they're not gonna be interrupting each other, and then one at a time come through, you know, electricians, they can run their stuff and they're not
interfering with each other.
Yeah.
Such.
So yeah, definitely, you know, that communication itself that
Yes, they're all there
we had to
working together.
us ourselves with Zoom.
Yeah, all these different platforms coming out that companies had to quickly adapt to. Yeah, quickly adapt to so they could keep their industry going, keep their company running smoothly without any delays.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads into how some companies did have to survive, and like modular homes were one of those companies that did survive. That did have an easier time than others because they were more prone to building in warehouses and off-site development, so they could easily abide by CDC procedures and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like an assembly line, so you know, they'd have small groups of people working together, but they could, you know, implement the different restrictions or whatever that you needed for
like all the
COVID.
distancing, for COVID.
For them to continue work.
And they can work throughout the weather and stuff like that.
That
was a big thing. And set up schedules easy.
It's not good. Sorry. And it's not like you were in, you know, if you're out just building on a regular job site where you have people running around, you got your subs in, and you got your electricians, your HVAC, everybody all condensed into one
too close
small, you know, area. Instead, in these modular home companies, they're more spread out.
I think a lot of GCs definitely look to, you know, modular home companies as a resource to keep their jobs going when, you know, they thought, you know, of course there was going to be too much delays because, you know, again, a lot of people weren't able to come together, but, you know, modular homes is definitely something that kind of saved.
I feel like it's only gonna get bigger. I mean, we've seen them making homes out of little cubes to just piece together, which is also, you know, prefabricated system like SIPs and ICFs
and warehouse work.
All that stuff. And you don't need as many people either when you're using like these prefabricated systems like SIPs and whatnot, because you don't really need the person who operates the crane and whatnot, maybe 2 people to set it into place, and that's about it. Maybe an extra person, so 4 at most. But
I really like the whole idea of modular homes. It seems a little quicker to me. Just, you know, because like you said, you can really do like an assembly line and just, you know, bang freaking pieces out. And, you know, me personally, maybe I'd wait to do like, you know, trim and like finish work and what, you know, once you're on the site, because you can't really puzzle piece those things together, you know, too easily. But it's definitely something that
and it saves on labor too. You don't gotta pay. You know, it doesn't take as much time, like you said. So, you know, it may cost more initially, but at the end, it all kind of equals out. But
so definitely COVID definitely affected so many things. I mean, some advances came out of it, you know, like we're saying, technology and usually bad, technology advances tend to come out of, bad things like wars and whatnot. So we've seen some things come out of COVID, and maybe we'll learn from what happened, but we definitely
Had to adapt to
yeah.
new times and stuff like that, diversify the workforce, do
Even
everything.
learning just how to do that, adapting.
Yeah. Implement new processes because of COVID, and kind of step back and look at what we're doing and see how we
the way
can
you run your company, But definitely had some it's really bad effects as well, just combined with rising costs, labor scarcity, just so many
materials, labor, new tools and whatnot.
Yeah, that would just kind of force the industry to innovate as a whole.
It's only preparing us for the future, if anything, again, happens like this. So,
and the lack of labor in general in this industry isn't helping the construction industry get back where it needs to be after the effects of COVID. And COVID itself was probably only a small part of the labor loss in construction specifically. I think we already had so much.
We were already in a deficit before COVID even came into plan. Like we were missing 40% of the labor force that we actually would need to be running smoothly.
Yeah.
Like the demand is up there. I mean, not now with the prices increase and whatnot, but it was high.
Yeah, it's still, demand for housing in general is.
It's gonna keep going up too, with the population increasing and, these aged homes, they're gonna need repaired, remodeled, whatever.
Yeah. But, our labor force, is, fuck, dude. I had the perfect transition, and you just went right back to COVID, you motherfucker. It's alright. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if anyone had anything else to say, and then, no, let's move on.
No, I know, but I had a clean transition. Sorry.
Alright. That's alright.
That's alright. But yeah,
split it out.
Also, I was talking about how labor, is not only affected as much by COVID as I think it was already affected by, I was trying to say, like, the aging workforce, as I was trying to hint into us talking about. And then you were just like, COVID.
I'm sorry.
No, just busting your gun. But, so.
Aging workforce,
Aging workforce.
They, COVID wasn't the only thing to really affect our workforce. We already kind of had
long-lasting thing that's affecting our workforce ever since World War II.
Which is the aging workforce. And essentially, that's just kind of talking about the industry huge gap we have now in age differences, and how it's just getting mainly older people now, and because of this, we don't have a lot of, we're going to start losing this older generation. We have very little coming back in, and that is definitely a big labor loss to our industry.
We kind of need them too, because they've got all the tips and tricks of everything throughout construction, because they've experienced it, they've been through it, they know what to do, what not to do, how to do it faster, all of that. We just need
people we look up to, and now they're, it's just getting older and older, the workforce, and as less people are really willing to come back into construction, we keep losing these old guys. The labor will only become more and more expensive, really, and that is a serious problem.
Serious problem for customers and serious problem for us, because as that labor gets more expensive, it's going to be even harder for us to find that labor and find good labor and find those skilled laborers that know what they're doing. So it's gonna rise costs, and it's gonna be 10 times harder for us to keep our businesses going.
We gotta get more.
I mean, in a way, it's, if you look at, labor being expensive, it's good, it's kind of nice for the laborer, they can make a lot of money, but us, who are kind of need to bid for these jobs and everything, and we kind of want to keep our costs down as much as we can.
Keep our costs down or your reputation up,
Yeah.
There'll be other competitors that'll come in and, they'll have lower bids and it won't look good. So
I think the biggest reason this kind of happened is I think just like the generation differences we've had, and how past generations affected the ones coming in, especially boomers effect on millennials.
Kind of like parents kind of pushing kids to move away from the trades and stuff like that, and only like starting now, like you see it kind of like
frowned upon.
Back in, like people are trying to push kids back into trades, because we're getting into this huge deficit of people who are leaving the trades, and now we're having this wide gap of people who need people, and
it was definitely frowned upon for a good while. At first, for the boomers, their parents came out, the war and everything, and good hard work was seen as, something
to be proud
of. It was respected a lot more and accepted in this world. And then I think they kind of
now they're like
realize busting their ass all day, isn't really what they want for their children. So they're like, go make good money.
Do a desk job and kind of sit down, be safe, and make a lot of money, and
your brain instead of your
hands.
Which unfortunately we still do need the people to actually build stuff, with their hands.
So you gotta get younger people involved, in order to come up and take over the roles of these older people that are retiring now. So, just having like events and whatnot and getting them involved really brings them closer to the industry. I mean, I know we have that PA skills, build your future thing to bring the high school students out here and get them involved and see what it's like.
And Tech, like I went to, that was a nice, it really kind of, drawed my interest. But they didn't really advocate it that much. Like Tech, at least for my school, was kind of like, just to like get all the bad kids out of the public, out of the class for a while, and just let them go get their energy out with some tools, and make them build a bunch of stuff. It wasn't really like, here's something nice that you might like, and
never really took it seriously.
Nobody really. I just did it because I was actually interested in it. But most people were definitely there because they just didn't want to be in normal classes.
Right.
all day. So
I think that's how most high schools are like. I'm sure. I mean, that's how some people were like in my school. They just took it just to get out of the class. Like you said.
Yeah, I feel like me coming from Massachusetts, they at least in my high school, they didn't push any trades at all to you. Like they trades weren't a big thing for
Yeah,
anyone
it's
in my high school to
really
graduate
insane.
from. So like even like tech school and stuff like that, they didn't push that on you. They didn't talk it about you. They didn't talk about it that much at all.
Yeah.
And so like it was for
And
me,
it's
it was just like
crazy.
I had to. I found out like Penn College through like a friend of a friend. Like I came down here my tour for my friend. I wasn't even coming down here for me, and then I ended up liking it more than him, and he didn't even come here. So it was
It's funny.
it's definitely
Yeah, which is crazy because you can make some good ass
You can
money,
make
you
decent
know,
money.
Oh, yeah.
especially
be a good
you know,
living.
kind of especially right now as a laborer.
It's dying out, you know, supply and demand, you know.
And
It's not-
yeah, I think and you don't even need an education.
yeah.
Really, I mean, you can start low, easily work your way up in something like the union.
Yeah,
Which,
union's definitely a good.
Yeah, union is something that needs to be probably advocated for a lot more, and
Yeah.
you know, I think because it's such a
Especially in like
Such a
college
good
and stuff
outlet,
like that.
dude.
Like we don't talk about unions too much and stuff like that.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'm really not educated on it a whole lot, but
These
you know,
guys
it
up
seems my my good friend from home is in the Philadelphia Carpenters Union, and he loves it. You know, he's been there for 4 years now, and he's making pretty damn good money, and just like you know piling up on pension stuff, and I mean he's telling me he's already ready. He can afford to buy a home right now, you know, because he's just been living at his parents' house and you know saving up his money. So yeah, I think that's definitely something that we don't
yeah,
not everybody thinks a lot about.
Yeah. The unions is definitely a good way to get into it. Yeah, unions built this country. They're
Yeah.
good thing.
And,
Kinda.
but yeah, right. And you don't have to get student loans or anything like that.
Yeah.
Start off
Fresh
with
start.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a few buddies who didn't end up going to college or ended up only going for a year and dropped out and went into a trade and started doing that because it was easier and there's better money in it.
Yeah, and you know some companies are trying to you know counter this and you know get more attraction to this industry. I know I read you know the AGC recently launched a recruiting program called Construction is Essential, which focuses on attracting, training, and retaining talent in the industry. So not only are they trying to attract new young people, but you know they're also trying to keep these very talented older workers in the industry because you know they do have some advantages.
Yeah, they have skills and they have
Yeah.
stuff they can
We
teach
need
younger
'em.
kids that eventually they can come up and keep on a circle,
Pass
you know?
it down the lines of generations and
Circle,
whatnot.
And you know again there's the age force is so split up now and kind of to drive that home I found some nice stats here on EC Mag, a little article about the age of experience, aging workforce in the construction industry. It's kind of a nice article, and they gave some statistics like saying 40% of all workers are 45 to 64 years old. You know,
Wow, yeah.
so almost half the age
That's-
force is
Old, at retirement age.
yeah, well within retirement age,
Yeah.
you know, and which is
Excuse me.
kind of crazy that a lot of them are holding on that long, and also people under 25 years old only makes up 10% of this industry. So you know, young people like us is only 10% of this industry right now, and however, they did say that the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates in 2026 we will see huge major growth in new laborers and work and people in trades in general coming in and just hopefully not oversaturating the industry and because right now labor is expensive. We don't necessarily want it to get cheap, but it's kind of a fine balance of we still want, I guess, laborers, they like the good money, but us again, we don't necessarily want to have to be selling expensive jobs.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to find customers who are in these middle classes who can't pay for these expensive jobs.
So.
Some of the, I think some of the older employers we need to engage on new interests and maintain some of the old ones too. Especially with the upcoming generations and whatnot. They need to adapt to posting on social media and stuff.
Social media is definitely something, a storm that some of these construction workers need to kind of pick up on.
I think it's like the biggest form of advertisement now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it has to be, because it's definitely one of the easiest ways of advertisement.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And people buying homes are very media prone. People buying homes now are
they always see the trends and stuff like that, so they want to see pictures. They want to see what you can do. They want to.
They're still at the age. Buying homes right now at the perfect age for that. That's how they get most of the information.
That's something they want.
It's social media. They see something here.
Yeah,
and you need to make a web. You want to have websites. Now the company I work for, they don't even have a website. I mean, they do pretty good, but they don't even have a website or anything like that, and it's just kind of I think
they were
could be
doing
a little
good.
more. Yeah, I mean, they do good, but I'm saying I think they could. I think
Put
some companies might need
more.
to a little more than them, but
But even saying that, just showing like they don't have their own social media website to kind of advertise themselves. I feel like that kind of shows. And you said they're still doing good, so I feel like that just kind of shows how much work there is to be done out there. Since
I feel like I mean, my dad's kind of in the same boat where he doesn't do the social media, he doesn't do like the advertisement.
Once you get like a grounded company, pretty much all your work is probably
but like I also
think
he like relies on like older customers and stuff like that, and like customers that come around a lot like that. But
like them passing the word on.
If they pass on when they get too old, you're gonna have to start relying on this advertisement, or you're gonna have to start engaging in the advertisement a little bit more to bring on new customers and bring on customers, I guess.
So the aging people need to have a little adapting to do, but I think they also have a lot of some great advantages to them being in the company, in a part of your company.
Having experience is one.
That's definitely.
Experience is probably the biggest, probably.
They've been around long enough to learn from their failures and
most of these guys who are like 65, 60 years old, they're guys who lived through that 2008 recession and stuff like that. They're guys who are living through this pandemic right now.
They've been through something close to this, maybe not like what we're going through.
It's close. It's,
still a recession. And not only that, they're also plainly so skilled workers and the ones who can teach the young people coming in and apprentices and whatnot.
Yeah, they always got those old tips and tricks and stuff like that. That kind of
people work together. Young kids will show them a little bit of social media, help them out, and you see more of their training. I think also that if employers offered some solid benefit packages, that would really attract some people. benefit packages included like dental and health care and a
Sabbaticals.
reasonable vacation time and stuff like that.
Yeah, I also looked at like phased retirement as one of them that I thought was interesting, kind of just like gradually transitioning out of like full-time work for employees and stuff like that, kind of bring them in less and less like that. It's definitely a good way to kind of like phase out someone out of the company, and, but still keep them on, kind of. And another thing was also a living wage for pension payments was something that I found interesting because they want to adapt living pensions to employees so they can help with inflation in the economy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it'll be better off for middle income retirees and stuff in the future, I guess. And we'll have like game changing features.
Yeah, so definitely things we want to influence them to stay on, because I think their generation, they definitely valued hard work a lot more. Again, coming from their parents coming from war and whatnot. Hard work was something that they
Thrived on,
yeah, they really understood. Whereas, I think our generation is
leaning towards the hard work.
yeah,
instead of-
we're kind of
They just
shying
wanna
away from
yeah,
it,
brush it
sit at
off,
home
especially
job and
millennials. I mean, I know we're just starting to kind of.
break the industry.
Yeah, I think we're a little more than the millennials were. I think just because people are realizing that we need, there's nobody doing anything, so we need it. But yeah, I mean, younger generations definitely don't value hard work as much anymore as
the older generation.
and
the older generation,
especially because you just sit at home.
Yeah, make money off your
Make
phone.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's definitely gonna be a tougher
Well,
industry to get into out there, huh?
As the boomers, they have their advantages, but they also have their disadvantages to them being our primary workers in this industry. So I mean,
But yeah,
Like they're usually less inclined for safety restraints and devices. They don't want to be wearing harnesses anymore. They're like, oh, I've been doing it for 40 years. I know what I'm doing.
yeah, they don't want to wear that stuff, and then you want to tell them to put on a mask for COVID.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna have someone put on a mask for COVID.
yeah,
You're not gonna put on safety glasses or something. So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
so they usually tend to work in a little less safe conditions.
Yeah, and they grew up during those unsafe
Yeah.
conditions and stuff like that. So.
And that, along with what what happens when you've been physically working a labor job for
Years.
10
30
years plus,
years.
yeah, 30 years plus.
3 years plus, is
Bones are brittle and
your
falling
eyesight
apart.
starts going, your hearing starts going.
Like a bad hit.
Not to
Who knows?
treat them like senior citizens, but
Yeah.
at some point, the job itself is so
Labor-intensive.
intensive.
And where do you find like where are you like a risk to other employees? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, really, we can start getting hearing loss at
Yeah.
age of 30, 40, 40 because
Working
because
around
it's just
like
not protecting enough, and of course, again, their generation definitely didn't believe in as much of protect. Either they didn't have the education that.
because they had
They
that
didn't
brute
do as
force
much
mentality,
Yeah,
right?
there's that.
Yeah. They have to be
Yeah.
strong. They have to be,
Yeah.
a little pound the
be
finger
men.
didn't hurt.
Yeah, I think like they definitely, the mentality was a little like, oh, it wasn't a hard days of work if you didn't
do
hurt your
anything.
back, or
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
didn't bleed a little blood,
Yeah.
and compared to now where it's like companies
So different.
don't want any of their employees to get hurt at all.
At all.
Have them wear
Especially-
gloves and freaking all
way
those
back then, they
the
probably didn't even
glove,
have like
crazy
OSHA
harnesses
standards.
and they're 4 feet in the air. They're harnessed up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you see them taking like more frequent breaks and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
see them taking.
they're all
It's,
they're old
it's hard.
people.
It's hard to work.
Yeah.
It's hard to work.
Someone,
But as it becomes hard to work with older age, there's more technology that comes out with these that helps these people. I saw the exoskeleton stuff that was coming out.
Yeah.
That's
oh,
who
like the
knows when it's
devices.
who knows what's gonna hit the market. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I saw that Festool just released one of their exoskeletons that they just designed, and I mean, I'm not sure how expensive or how useful they're gonna be in like residential areas, but for older people, they're definitely
Yeah.
gonna
It would definitely help a
definitely
lot.
help. Yeah.
Keep them going.
That's a good example of technology that's changing in this industry, and although some technologies are here to help, all technology is made to help us. Some technologies our older workforce isn't as used to,
Yeah.
and I think they can struggle or be reluctant
Yeah.
to changing to it. I know my mom, she works for a company and they're starting to be a lot more technology based just in general, and just like using technology before, and like I didn't even think about how much she's not used to technology, and she's like, I was asking me for help with this and that and all this stuff. I was just like almost taken back by how much. And, she's 50, so how much someone her age doesn't know how to use technology that much, and she didn't want to learn. She's like, screw this. I've been here for 30 plus years or whatever. Now they want me to adapt to all this stuff. So I think construction industry definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those harder areas for
See that
workers
too,
to
too.
adapt
Yeah.
to different technologies. It's definitely
Yeah, I think we
But if we can
have a lot
adapt to
more of
it,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause I
Be
think
better off.
it's so much more efficient.
as we were saying, how much is being used in like to help us management wise, and to help those people in those upper positions. It's kind of causing older people to be reluctant to move up in their company, because they maybe would much rather just keep doing this labor intensive work rather than move up to something less labor intensive that would probably benefit themselves and their bodies and everything, but they're reluctant to do it because of how much technology is incorporated into these businesses now, in these construction companies. Yeah.
Energy and the time that they have to put into it to learn all this.
Yeah.
They just
And
they
they're
feel like
like-
they're at the age where like, what's the point?
Like, I'm 55 years old.
Yeah. So.
Why am I doing this now?
Mm-hmm.
Or why should I do it now? Just work 10 more years.
Yeah.
My hands, kill my body even more.
Right.
Which isn't good for employers or employees. But I think
We covered most of
last
it.
thing maybe just what some companies have been really trying to do to attract new workers
I was,
and keep
I was reading
going.
on Fortune website about how this website called Monster that publishes a list of companies that are receiving real kudos for their inclusion in treatment of older workers and stuff like that. And so they use the system to pick out companies who are doing better with older workers and stuff like that. And I think it's better for older workers to see these companies. A long-term trend we get to see today in the industry is the further investments in the technology, in the digitization, and the innovation of all the building systems that we use.
And they're taking efforts to enhance mentorship training for people that are new to the industry. They're encouraging recruitment for the trades so that they can build themselves some sustainable career pathways.
And yes, we definitely need,
we need
companies need to start doing more to attract, them, like you were saying earlier, benefit packages, things like that, raising wages, all these things that we could do to, keep these old skilled workers on board, because we need them. We need them to teach people. We still need their knowledge. We need them to reinvest into the younger generation to, just for the greater good of the industry. Yeah. And so that's we really, between COVID and the aging workforce, I think the main thing is we need to get labor
back up
in this industry.
Get
As
back up,
COVID's maybe calming down a little, maybe we're seeing future to less material, materials maybe coming down a little, supply chain. Hopefully we can,
companies are starting to open up more and stuff like that. Employees are starting to get back more to work.
Demand a little more.
We don't hear so much of COVID this, COVID that now anymore. I mean, it's starting to die down, I think.
Definitely.
But I mean, the economy's still impacted. I don't know how it'll be in the future. I mean, I'm sure nobody knows, because it's not just one thing that it relies on. It could go any which way direction,
but we definitely.
But companies, they're taking the precautionary measures they need to in order to keep themselves going during this time of high inflation and interest rates, stuff like that.
Everything's up. I mean, we're definitely. A lot of people saying we're nearing a recession. So
Good times ahead. Good times.
The economy isn't doing the best, but which is obviously going to affect our industry. But I think, of course, what we can do again is just get labor in overall to come up. We need
we need people
this
in these
industry
jobs.
We need more jobs coming back in, more trucking jobs. They're a big part of the supply chain. More, in our material suppliers
and
we
imports.
need just labor everywhere, and both these things are impacting us largely, but I think we're seeing again with
technology and all these other things kind of help push the way, kind of help break boundaries, kind of help it make it a little easier with labor issues and stuff like that.
People are trying to attract new people as well.
People, probably new faces.
People are trying to attract trades work again, make it something of value again, and I think
trying to bring it back to how it was. Restore it. But
I think overall.
Hopefully
You
learn
industry
something.
starts to catch a break, Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for
tuning
the old
to episode
one of one.
One of one.